is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Hello, welcome to the podcast. This is a brand new episode for EduKate. It's going a little bit off path. We've been chatting about Taylor Swift, much to Lizzie and Jess's delight over the last few months, but we're throwing Taylor Swift out the window until her album is back, of course. But welcome, guys.
Yeah, it's
We're
no
back.
longer EduKate
Taylor's version.
It's EduKate and then whatever Kate would like to put under the banner, because she is going to educate us on something today. It is in her name. We thought it makes the most sense if she finally does a bit of prep for the potty and educates us on something.
And now I'm really nervous.
But it's going to be good because we're all going to educate each other on some of our favourite topics, right? That aren't Taylor related.
Don't worry, Lizzie.
100%.
It's not just going to be me. We did have an awkward discussion last podcast about the idea of me doing all the chatting, which
The
I promise
history
I
of
won't.
tea
But
towels.
I have to do an episode this week because let's be honest, the story that everybody is talking about, or the name that everyone is talking about, is Kate Middleton. I've worn my
100%.
polka dots today in
Homage.
honour of the royal herself. But I mean, if you're seeing headlines like "Kill Notice" and you know the health of a princess and media frenzy, we've got to get involved. I'm a very big fan of the royals.
Yeah. Generally,
I have one girlfriend in particular, Victoria. If there's anything fabulous on the internet floating around, especially of Kate, but the royals in general, Charlotte always gets a good run on our Instagram back and forth. We text each other and we don't even really need to use words. It's like, wowee, there she is.
Would you say that Kate is your Taylor? Before you stumbled across Taylor Swift, was she your Taylor Swift?
That's a very good way of looking at it.
Can I
In
throw
fact,
something out there? I would think if we as Australia were to cast a Kate Middleton, surely Kate Ritchie is up for the gig.
Oh, 100%.
Like, look at you. You've got the
you look the
Kate
same.
look. You carry yourself with such elegance. I say that both on and off the air,
I don't know
knowing you.
about
Your
thank
name
you
is
very
Kate.
really
much.
do. Your name's Kate. I mean, that just helps in terms of the script.
It makes sense. And I was actually going to grow up and marry Prince William. That was my
Yes,
plan.
that's right.
When I was a young teenager travelling to the UK to do pantomime at Christmas, I think I embarrassingly even wrote to Prince William and invited him to come and watch me.
Well, you know, there might actually still be hope, because potentially, with all this Kate-spiracy going around at the moment, she might be gone.
I don't say that.
Is that what you're going to talk us through?
But yeah, but if anyone, if she is going to be recast, I'm quite happy to put my hand up. But I do love Kate.
Yeah.
Let's just bring you up to speed. At the time of recording this podcast, where are we at, ladies? There is a photo that has been circulating that was released by Kate and William to put all of the conspiracy theories to rest. Kate hasn't been seen since Christmas. Apparently she had some abdominal surgery.
Yep.
So they haven't been seen together as a family. Kate and William haven't been seen together. There has been a lot of chat about it. And even in some ways the press has been asking for them to put rumours to rest. Like quotes like, all they need to do is release a photo of all of them looking happy together and everyone might be quiet about it. So that's what they did during the week. Apparently the photo was taken by William. It was of Kate, centre stage in the photo, flanked by the three children.
Yeah.
Louis on the left, we've got George at the top and Charlotte on the right.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't take very long for a lot of the big press agencies to realise that the photo had been completely doctored. I mean, in fact, they were saying, is it AI? Are these people even here in this moment? Or is it just a little bit of really, really bad photoshopping that has just added to conspiracy theories out there?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, when I first saw it, I was like, something just seemed weird about it. Before I even zoomed in and thought, oh, is this photoshopped? Is this AI? I was like, something's off.
Yeah, I didn't look at the kids to start with. I actually zoomed in on her face because I love this stuff. And I'm thinking, she looks a bit dead in the eyes, like a bit kind of glazed. Because Kate is incredibly beautiful and incredibly sparkly.
That's
in
right.
The eyes.
Got a lot of life in her face
when she
normally.
lights up, and when you see her with the children, or when she's out doing the wonderful work she does, she's really alive. And I just thought, oh, that looks like a plastered smile. And then the lists start coming out. Just quickly, I'll run you through. There were over a dozen.
Yeah.
One of the papers, The Sun over there, I mean, broke it down as much as you possibly can. There's Catherine's left hand has no wedding ring, which was a big mistake.
Well, can we circle back to this, because I've got a little theory on this once you've taken us through the other Photoshop errors.
Okay, Catherine's right hand is blurred. Catherine's top zipper is broken. Her hair is fuzzy and airbrushed, which is the first thing I noticed on the left-hand side. Louis's right thumb is blurred. Charlotte's cuff is mismatched at the wrist, which was glaringly obvious, I think, and the first thing a lot of people noticed. Charlotte's tights show a green line where they're airbrushed. The skirt doesn't line up. Louis is leaning on a ledge that seems mismatched. The window pane in the background is distorted. The skirting board is off kilter. And my favourite one is that there are leaves on a deciduous tree in March. And that really speaks to my gardening heart. I'm like, how did I not notice that? Now let's get back to the wedding ring.
Can I say on the tree thing, because Twitter is or X, whatever we're calling it these days, is absolutely loving this. Anything where they can come together for a conspiracy. And there was someone on there that said, actually, guys, I can debunk. I'm currently in Windsor. Can confirm there are leaves on trees at the moment. So they were like, okay, maybe that one is not legit. Now, other people were saying, depends on the shrub, depends on the tree.
Yeah, let me have a look. That does look like a blossom of some description.
Well, I mean, I saw a TikTok of someone breaking down her outfit and that she's been spotted in that exact outfit before.
That's right. They said that from December, there was an event that they all did. The kids were all in very similar clothing, and then it looks like maybe they have just photoshopped a different pattern onto Louis' jumper. They've maybe darkened Kate's jumper or whatever it might be. And I think someone even went to the length of saying the jumper that she's wearing, you can't actually get in this colour. That's how much they're thinking that this has been photoshopped. I know that we were talking on air as well about potentially her face has been taken from the Vogue cover.
Yeah.
And they've overlaid that. So was she even sitting in that chair, or who were the kids hugging? There's a lot going on.
Odd.
But can I just say, the first thing that struck me as weird about this photo, and it wasn't anything to do with the Photoshop or anything.
Yeah.
It was the fact that it had been released, because there was so much chatter maybe like 3 weeks ago online about the fact that we haven't seen Kate at all. So maybe like a few days later, then what do we get? That first picture of her
Paparazzi.
and Carol in the car saying she's here, blah, blah, blah.
Which the British press didn't run.
They didn't
The
run.
American did.
But it was like people were calling for it and they got it. There was also, where is she? Where is she? They released a statement saying, as we told you, she's had,
We've said it.
Yeah, we've told you she's having surgery. You won't hear from her till after Easter. The initial timelines haven't changed. That's very odd to be responding to a groundswell of speculation as well, because it's just the rumour mill online. What does it actually matter?
They've set a boundary with us.
The third thing is then releasing the photo. So when everyone's calling it fake in the car, to then release this family photo, really odd. They're pandering to the public in us needing to know this information and thinking something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then they're giving us information that we now know is wrong.
Absolutely.
Which they don't usually do. They don't do that.
And they shouldn't have to. Like, it almost feels as if the public and the press have put the royal family on the back foot, which is not really the way...
It's not the way the royal rota works.
It usually works. And don't rush them. They've now released a photo that has since been withdrawn. This is what I find most interesting. The royal family themselves has not taken this photo off the market.
They have not put a mandatory kill on
No,
it.
they haven't. I mean, what a headline. Perfect clickbait.
oh my God.
Sorry, that's me doing the mandatory
That's
kill.
very
That's on the
scary.
photo.
But it's the press themselves that have said there are so many discrepancies in this photo. We won't be lied to in this way. Do not run this photo.
It is.
We are being lied to, and we are not going to perpetuate that.
Exactly. It is a real turning of the tide in that we know, and Harry and Meghan did clue us into this, how much the British family work hand in hand with the press.
Yeah.
And it's, we give you access to the first shots of our baby because you give us X amount of privacy, or you don't bother us when we're at university or whatever it might be. I think that is turning now, and we might finally get a few stories that maybe William doesn't want to come out, because I think from everything Meghan ever alluded to, that royal family members, and Harry said this in his book about Camilla, for example, they use each other and throw each other under the bus to get either good press or to get a story about them wiped.
Yeah.
That's why it is like playing chess.
So what? I know you're going to educate us today. Are there any other royal conspiracies like this?
Well, there are so many, and some of them are fun, some of them are ridiculous, and I am going to go through them in a second. I just want to bring you completely up to date. Obviously, this story is going to continue to unfold.
Yes.
But right now, where we're at is Kate has come out and said, a fail. I had a fail. I did some really bad photoshopping at home, which this is the part of the story I don't
that it was so
believe, because I
weird.
feel like everything is so well executed, even if it is mum behind the camera who
Yeah,
happens
Mummy's
to
done a
be Kay.
whoopsies.
So she's released something without triple checking it and having the palace kind of cast their eye over it. She has apologised. The press agencies won't run the photo, and that's where we're at.
That tweet sounded like she was locked in a basement somewhere.
Little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
Give
now
us-
you're buying into the
give us
TikTok
the
videos.
password.
No, but what was that? Who sent it in the group chat? Ollie sent it in the group chat, our producer, last night, and I almost lost my mind. I was laughing so hard. What was that?
And I think I saw somewhere as well that someone said if she is actually like as unwell as she probably no doubt is, if she's not going to be seen until after Easter.
Yeah.
The fact that they are messing this up so badly for her, and they've said, you know what, give us the password, we'll do a quick little post, we'll sort it all out.
Yeah.
The poor thing. The only other thing I wanted to add on this photo is that it's quite interesting that she was photographed without her wedding ring.
Yes.
Because there have been rumours for years that the marriage is a little bit on the rocks, or, you know, there was rumours about one of her friends and him and infidelity and all of that.
Yeah.
We can't confirm or deny anything. Obviously, we're three women from Australia. We don't actually know anything. But it was interesting that they decided to put that as a front-facing photo.
Yeah.
Which, like, again, I don't wear my wedding ring all the time at home, but to think that you're putting that out publicly...
When you know
that ring is
that's
iconic.
Absolutely. And I think that if there's a checklist of things that you're running through before the photo's released, you think, okay, we are presenting a united front.
Yeah, do
wedding
we still
ring,
look married?
check.
Yeah. But I
Absolutely.
thought, are they planting a seed here so when they do announce their divorce... It's not a shock to the
I
public,
love this version of your events.
We look back on it and we go, all right, we did see that photo and she didn't have the wedding ring, although we do know that he got the photo credit. So obviously they have been broken up, but they're still a good family unit because he's there taking photos of her and the kids on Mother's Day. So if something does happen, come back to this moment. I think they've planted a seed early.
You've preempted
I
things.
think they just lie.
Whoa. Big
Oh,
call.
sorry.
Oh,
but they
wow.
do. They
Be very careful the way you speak about my Kate.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Australia's Kate Middleton you're talking to.
I do hear you, but I've rewatched and watched The Crown a million times.
Which is just
That
based on a true
documentary.
story.
Yeah, but they lied about the uncle being a Nazi.
Well, yeah, don't put facts in the story.
Oh,
Lizzie.
sorry.
What, you're getting bogged down in things that might be real. What are
Right,
you talking
speaking of things
about?
that might not
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Going to get to the conspiracy theory list that you begged for, Lizzie. Here we go. I've got it. I have a list here. You've probably heard some of these before.
Yeah.
And some I actually haven't even heard them, and they blew my mind. Let's start with Prince Diana and Prince Charles had a secret daughter. There was a paper called The Globe. They ran a story back in 2014. What they are saying is that perhaps there was a daughter born before William was born. Diana went in and was having the full check for possible IVF treatment. Some eggs were taken from Diana, and apparently the doctor allegedly fertilised the eggs with Prince Charles's sperm and then had his own wife carry the baby.
And where would she be now, that baby?
Well, I don't know. That means she would have been born. I can't find it here. But apparently the baby's name was Sarah. But then I also see something
I've got
that
goosies.
lists the magazine Woman's Day here. So
Ah.
I have a feeling that may not be true. Kate Middleton, this is another conspiracy,
Yeah.
used a surrogate. Now, there were a couple of magazines reporting that this, I mean, it's a crazy rumour.
For all babies or?
No, she gave birth to George, and she did go on to have Louis, but she had a surrogate carry Princess Charlotte, all because she just looked so incredible post-birth. And let's be honest, they do wheel out the princess very soon after the baby is born. I did visit the steps when I went to London.
Oh, so you are a diehard.
I actually have a photo of me on the steps where
probably didn't look half as good as her, and she just pushed out a kid 6 hours ago.
Exactly, but she had a surrogate, did she not?
But surely all the hair and makeup in the world, anyone could look good after childbirth. Like,
not me.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay, so this one has legs.
No, I don't know. Okay, we've all heard this one, and let me say, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with any of these. Prince Harry is not Prince Charles's son.
Hard agree.
That's a long-running one.
It has.
But do we have any other evidence other than they both have red hair?
No, Diana, it was confirmed she had an affair with him. What's his name, James?
Yes, James Hewitt.
Very hot man. And I'm sorry, Harry is way hotter than William if you're adding up the hot scales.
Well, that's only because William lost his hair, because he was very good looking as a teenager when he had hair.
I think bald men are very attractive.
I don't think men are attractive
even
in
William
general,
with hair
so.
wasn't for me.
Oh, but he's the guy in charge. All right, Lizzie.
I feel like that one's true.
Absolutely agrees. What's true, that he's hot or that he's the father of Harry?
Both.
Okay, let's move on. Kate Middleton is secretly feuding with Beyonce. I'm not even going to go into that.
No, you
one.
must. You must.
Okay, here we go. According to Mashable, because the royal family announced Kate's third pregnancy on Beyonce's birthday, there are rumours of a feud, though it seems unlikely that Beyonce is upset with the British royal family or vice versa. The internet is convinced of that.
I love that as a conspiracy theory, because we know that Meghan and Beyonce are very close, because she got that call in the documentary.
And you've seen that footage, right, of Beyonce on the carpet of The Lion King going up to Meghan and saying, "My queen, you're my queen."
Ooh. So maybe there's
that's
actually a bit of a conspiracy the other way around, and Beyonce's feuding with Kate.
Oh, that could be right.
And conspired to be born years and years earlier, and then have her announce it on the same day.
Let me tell you a conspiracy theory about a fake butt. And when I talk about butts in the royal family, you know I'm speaking about Pippa Middleton.
Oh, not the butler.
I need to,
No.
I need to throw my dad under the bus here. I was young when they got married, and all I remember from that day, because we had a huge party at our house, is my dad being like, Pippa Middleton's butt. And I remember being like,
that can
Dad,
scar a child.
Literally, I was like, what? Sorry?
Are we not looking at the princess who's about to
get married in her beautiful dress?
I know.
But now I've looked at the
Let's
photos.
just hope, Lizzie, when you get married, your sister is not a hottie.
It was a great shot. But the conspiracy theory is that it was all, not that she tried to upstage her sister at all.
God, no.
But that to get
she did wear white.
That perfect. Well, she did, but didn't they both look
they looked
magnificent? Let's just
wonderful.
stop down for a moment and have a little think about how great Kate looked.
Do you want to be Kate Middleton or be with
No,
Kate
no, no.
Middleton?
I need to ask you if
Well,
you've
that's
seen,
another conversation altogether.
If you've seen, you would have, that infamous moment from the wedding when Harry turns and has a look at Kate coming down the aisle, and then he turns back to William and he whispers, "Wait until you see her."
But I think he was alluding to Pippa.
Who was wearing a fake butt. Let's move on quickly from that one. Next on the list, the royals lied about Archie's birth date. Now, I think this is just a case of miscommunication, that the press was told that Meghan had gone into labour, and then when they released the proper date, it was like she's in labour on this day. Oh, and then when they said that Archie was born, it was actually in the morning.
Are you blaming the international date and timeline?
What I'm
Greenwich
saying
Meridian's gotcha.
This conspiracy theory screams to me that people are mad for a conspiracy theory.
And that they hate Meghan, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, they feel...
What's your thoughts on Meghan, if you're a Kate stan?
Well, that's another podcast altogether, I think.
Oh.
I just don't... I just hope everyone's okay.
Yeah.
And I know that's not juicy enough for a podcast, but I really...
No.
We'll be able to get a good hook out of that.
I think that families are really tricky.
They are, yep.
Let alone being in the royal family.
Oh,
and
100%.
I hate that everything is played out publicly, that nothing is private, that everything has to be very well orchestrated, like nothing is normal. And I guess that's what it's like when you're in the royal family. But
It's sad, isn't it?
I just don't like fractured families.
For sure.
Because I think it's incredibly damaging. And I hate people who do podcasts about them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Do you ever look at a family and you just think, we belong together? You and I, forever and ever.
Yeah, no matter
No
where
matter
they
where
are.
You're my shining star.
I can't believe you even know it. You're way too young for that song. Okay. I'm going to get to the final conspiracy theory. Now, let me pose this question to you. If the king is sick, for example.
Yeah.
Well, he is sick.
Kate the prophet.
Camilla, just call me Nostradamus. Camilla, I don't know why, but she's chuffed off on holidays. Kate's been busted photoshopping photos. Poor old Harry has been exiled by the whole family. What we really need, perhaps, is another heir to the throne or someone else who could be in charge here. Imagine if there was someone else who could take over.
What, like Georgie Porgy pudding pie?
No. What about an Australian man who claims to be Prince Charles and Camilla's son? Because there's a guy.
Where?
In Australia. Have you not heard this story?
What's his name?
Well, it's been floating around for a
King.
while. Yeah. Depends whether you're asking or whether they are. He's an Aussie grandfather. I'm very surprised you haven't seen these photos floating around over the years. And let me just start this by saying, if it's true and he's not being owned by the royal family, that makes me really sad.
Yeah, and God save the Aussie king.
Well, there you go. He's a Queenslander. His name is Simon Dorante Day.
Well, let me stop you there. No Queenslander is allowed to be royal. Come on, they'd be from Victoria.
He wasn't born in Queensland.
All right.
He was born in the UK, and that's where the connection begins. He's born in the UK. He claims that he was conceived in 1965. So he's shared photographs. I don't know if I should pass this over in a second.
Yeah.
Let me rip the photo off so I can keep telling
Thank you.
the story. That's him on the left, and that's Queen Elizabeth.
God.
That's Queen Elizabeth on the right. Now, he believes that Prince Charles and Camilla conceived him when they were only like 17. So you know how the story goes that they were originally together.
Yeah.
And then Prince Charles went on to marry Princess Diana. But
Yeah.
there was always a love line or an invisible string.
No, we absolutely aren't using Taylor lyrics for Camilla and Charles.
Come on.
Absolutely not.
Oh, you
Or
won't have
or a
it because you
tampon
don't
string.
agree. I did not.
Oh, Lizzie.
I know my stuff.
It's an invisible string
Yeah.
tying Camilla and Prince Charles. There always has been, and that's why they've ended up married. And now Camilla is Queen, right? So we've got King and Queen who originally met back when they were 17, and apparently had Simon.
Well,
King Simon.
No. So he's saying that his grandmother worked for the Queen and that she told him outright that he was the son of Camilla and Charles. Like many, many times. He's spoken to news outlets. He has released the photo where there is an uncanny resemblance, but it seems now after the story of the week being Photoshop and AI, who knows?
True. And what's his end
like.
game? Does he want to be the king, the prince? Like, what?
I don't know.
what's
I
he
feel
telling
as
people
though
for?
he wants to find himself. So if he does truly believe this, then I find it very sad that he doesn't quite know who he is. But I don't know to what end, because I don't think that the royal family are about to welcome him with open arms.
You wouldn't think so.
have you heard, if I may,
Regardless, yeah.
have you heard the conspiracy theory that I've just remembered of David Campbell's son being the reincarnation of Diana, saying, I grew up in a castle with a unicorn on it, which is like Balmoral, or like the castle that she grew up in Scotland. All these things that don't really
what's
add up.
weirder about this is I sent this article through to Whipper for us to talk about on air, and he said, "Oh, you mean Ted?" I said, "No, I mean David Campbell's son." And he said, "No, Ted thinks that he's Princess Diana reincarnated," which makes me think if reincarnation exists, Diana's trying to get into whatever little boy she can.
I don't know
That
how
was
that.
a terrible, terrible choice of words.
Either it was brilliant or either it was highly.
I just mean she might be slowly reincarnating as young children. Young children have open minds, and so maybe they're a bit more adaptable to letting someone else's spirit inside
Good work.
them. Ah!
Good work. Digging yourself out of that hole.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And why Sydney?
That's the big question.
And the big question of the day is, if you got to pick a destination to be reincarnated, would it be Sydney?
I love that it's like,
Okay.
it's not why is it 2 Australian celebrities, kids that are boys. It's
On free-to-air
why
commercial.
Sydney?
Why the Harbour City?
Eat shit, Melbourne.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.